Yo, what's up, guys? We're back at it on the E46 swap. We got the LS1 on the ground. We have tried selling this thing as is with the crack in the block, no accessories, no headers, different valve covers. It's got the LS6 intake, 243 heads, but apparently nobody wants it, or they don't find it useful to them because the block is cracked, and I understand. So now we're going to try to just sell the 243 heads and the LS6 intake. That might move. We're just going to have to accept that it's scrap metal. You got to take what people offer. But for now, we are going to strip off what we need to put on to the LS3, which is we're going to need the headers. We're going to take everything off the front, you know, the power steering pump, alternator, pulley, water pump, all of that stuff. And then we're going to swap over those valve covers onto it because our valve covers on it are super crusty. As you look, I mean, we could clean them up and use them, but we're probably not going to do that. We'll just use the ones that we already have powder coated. It's not the color we like, but they look good, so it'll work for now. But we're going to start stripping this down. I'm going to time lapse all of that. Nobody needs explanation of how to take bolts out. That's the goal for today, is to take the headers off, take the front accessory drive and all that stuff off, the water pump off. I'm probably going to go ahead and take the heads and the intake off too, because that's the only thing worth anything on this thing. But if you're watching this and you want to buy a bottom end of an LS1 that has a small crack in it, repairable crack, I imagine, for a little bit of money, hit me up and we'll set it up. I can get better pictures or better look at it once I get the headers and stuff off, but until then, I'm just going to time lapse you on removing everything. So I got all the header bolts, put them in a little belt Ziploc baggie, label it, header. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get everything situated. So I'm going to bag and label all my bolts so I know exactly what they are and where they're at. Most of the time I wouldn't do this because I don't usually take that long. Because I don't usually start things until I'm ready. This, we're just going to kind of progress as we can. But, pro tip. All right, coil packs are off. Putting the hardware back into the valve covers for the coil packs, because we're going to reuse these valve covers. So now we're going to start working on the front. We're not going to be able to take the pulley off today. We actually got to run to a buddy's house and get a puller. We don't have one, and he does, and we're not going to go rent one. We can just borrow his. So we're going to take the the belts off, get the alternator off, power steering pump off, get the water pump off, and then we'll get the heads and the intake off, and just get down to a block. All right, so we got the water pump off, the alternator off, power steering pump off. Power steering pump took a little bit longer because my pulley wasn't working, or I'm missing a piece or whatever. So we had to do it the long way. But we got it off. All right, so now we're gonna pull the intake off. Intake is off. All right, now we're gonna pull the heads off. So we got the heads off and got them sitting over here. Oh, find my damn phone. All right, so got the heads off and got them sitting over here. Now I knew this thing had a cam put in it, and I assumed it would have springs, retainers, you know, stuff like that. Heads, you know, just LS heads. They look pretty good. No signs of any damage or anything like that. No signs of a blown head gasket. They look pretty good. They do have dual valve springs, so that's a plus. So now that we got it torn down to this, now we need to take the starter off, and we got to get the pulley off because we're going to reuse the pulley. And then we got to take the oil pan off because we got to reuse that. And then we can pretty much throw the block away because it's trash. Unless somebody wants to buy it. I'll give it to you pretty cheap. I'm not going to just give it to you, otherwise I'll just turn it into a table. But hit me up. So I was working on a 5.7 and I wasn't recording because I was waiting on somebody to stop by and buy some of the parts off the 5.7. Sold the heads and the intake. The block is cracked. Somebody's going to come pick it up, but felt it was easier to sell it this way, and it turned out it was. But we got the trans off, and we're still waiting to borrow pull these pulleys off the blocks, but 5.7 is almost done. Gotta pull the clutch, flywheel off, pulley off, oil pan off, and then this thing can go to the scrap yard or to somebody who's gonna buy it. I think I got a guy that's gonna buy it, so we should be good. But we're making progress. We have some parts for the 6.2 over here. And what we have some Michigan Motorsports parts. We used these same parts on the Z when we did the cam swap, so it worked awesome, ran awesome, sounded awesome. So I decided I had to go with them again. We got the milling high pressure pump, stock volume. We got the stage 4 drift cam. And if you don't know what a drift cam is, look on MichiganMotorsports.com and check out the drift cams for the LS's. It's a drift spec cam. Go look at the specs if you want to know what it is. Let's see here. We got the upgraded rockers with the upgraded trunnion, dual springs, titanium retainers, push rods, and some LS7 lifters. Some new trays because those things get all crusty. So replace the dang trays when you're in there. New crank bolt, gasket, head gaskets and water pump gaskets. And we got more parts coming from Michigan Motorsports. We got we got some King bearings coming for the main and the rods. And then we got, since this is a DOD VVT engine, we got a delete coming. We got a couple more gaskets, like a rear main seal gasket, oil pan gasket. We got ARP head studs coming. We are going to stud this engine versus just using stock bolts or ARP bolts. We went ahead and got ARP studs. And then once we get all that stuff, we can actually start working on this thing. We're going to tear it all the way down. We're going to take it to a parts washer, at least clean it up so we can paint the block, make it at least look as good as we can. And then we're going to start assembly. We're going to hone the cylinders. We're going to put the new bearings in, and we're going to do new rings because we want everything to seal up. We got to take at least one piston out anyways to put the new one in because that one's cracked. So we're just going to take them all out, do the bearings, do all the rings, rehone all the cylinders so it's got a fresh cylinder walls. Got to inspect it all. Pressure plate looks like it's got some heat in it. We might have to just replace all this stuff while we got it out. It's usually a good idea while you're this deep to just replace all this stuff. We're gonna have to inspect our throwout bearing and the transmission too. Not that we're having any issues there, but like I said, sometimes you just need to replace this stuff while you're this deep. Clutch. Flywheel's got some heat on it. We might go ahead and just throw a whole new kit in. Flywheel, clutch. But we will see. But that's that. Now we're going to take off the flywheel. Then we need to get the pulley off and the oil pump. Alright, so behind me, you can see I flipped the engine over onto my jack. Cherry picker's at another shop right now, and I don't feel like going over there and getting it. So we just kind of gently flipped it up on top of the balancer. It's sturdy enough. I'm going to take the oil pan off. Then after that, I don't got to be so gentle with it. So let's rip this pan off. Alright, so we got the pan off. Now we're going to go ahead and take off the pickup. Probably leave the windage tray on. But we're going to go ahead and take this off. All right, I got the holly pan off. I went ahead and put the stock 6.2 oil pan onto the 5.7 just so that way it's not sitting here with the, I don't know, the bottom end open. I don't know if it serves a purpose, but it makes me feel better. So that's what we're gonna do. But now that we got it all flipped up and accessible now, there is the JB Weld stuff that I was talking about. That is a better view of it. The crack that we were dealing with is somewhere in there. I can't really see it, but with the engine running, you can. So there's the other spot. But oh well. Life goes on. Now we're building the 6.2. Gonna make more power, more torque, have more fun, burn more tires, spend more money. Racing, right? It's just the way it is. You build, you race, you break, repeat. And we're on is this build or is this repeat? Comment below what you think. All right, so now we got the 5.7 stripped down and we got the 6.2 taken apart. We got all the way through, got the cam out, oil pump off, all the timing stuff. We need to take the pistons out so that way we can start assembly. But we're gonna end this video here so it doesn't get too long. Whenever I get the rest of my parts in for the 6.2, start assembly, we'll pick it back up. That'll be the next video. So like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And hope you guys see the next one.